Alright, today, something different. I'm going to talk about a game. Alright, so like a couple weeks ago, I have a friend that I've had a friend since like, I've known this guy since like the second grade or kindergarten or something like that, like pretty much my whole life, okay? And this friend who just happened to, you know, I've talked about him before. Anyways, we like games. Like, we played games, all kinds of games we played. He's more into video games than me. I kind of like, you know, let that go a while back. I'll play like Uncharted or something like that, but I'm not into it. Like, I don't need the new thing, any of that kind of stuff, okay? He's into that stuff, okay? So, what we do cross on is tabletop games, like board games or interactive, like card games, or, you know, deck builders, blah blah blah. I don't play Magic because there's too much in that. The ones that take a lot of commitment, I'm not into. I don't need a lot of commitment. I want something I can just whip out, play with a little bit, and then put it back, you know? Take from that what you will. Anyways, so, back to the point at hand. He said he brought up this game called, The Adventures of Baron Munchausen? Baron von Munchausen? Or is it I think it's The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. I'll put it up there. I get confused because there's an actual book out, and there is also a movie based on the book from like the 80s. The book came out like a god-awful long time ago, like, I don't know, 17 something, maybe 18 something. I'll put it up here, right about right here, maybe. This person's gonna pull out in front of me. Don't do it! Don't do it! Ah! Okay. So, in the game, like, it's like you don't need anything. You're all pretending to be like aristocrats sitting around this like tavern, gentleman's club, in the sense of like a British gentleman's club, not the like American one where naked women are dancing around and you don't want to actually touch anything, but like in the one where everything's leather and oak and everybody's drinking scotch and, you know, that kind of thing, and you're all sitting around. Okay, in this game there's like no setup except for this book, and you don't even really need it. It's in like kind of like a werewolf sort of fashion where you don't like need like nearly anything. Okay, so the setup is like that, alright? Y'all sitting in this cavern, you come up with your own name, and the name needs to be ridiculous, and the whole point of the game is to be ridiculous. It's like improv the game, okay? So, it'd be like, Von Puterhelm, tell us the time that you won the World Champion Arm Wrestle Tournament in India with Queen Elizabeth's dead leg. And you gotta, you know, go with that, and you just start, you got like a few seconds, so you'll say like, oh yes, I remember this story, and then you take a drink or something to give yourself time, because, you know, that's a ridiculous thing to talk about, and while you're doing that, you got time to drink, and which is awesome, and then you got time to think something up. So anyways, you set your drink down and you just like go into it. I'm talking about, you can't tippy-toe, you just jump in the lunacy and you tell a story, and while you're telling it, your friends can kind of throw more monkey wrenches in there if things are working out way too well for you. If you're like, okay, I'm feeling my way, I know what I'm doing here, in your head you're like, I got this. I've got a plan, I've got a destination, this is going to work out, you know, I'm going to get through this ridiculousness. Your friend will be like, oh, here, let me throw a wrench in that, and they'll say this, something like, they'll slide this coin that you pick, it doesn't matter, everybody's got a certain number, they'll slide this coin for it, and they'll be like, oh, yes, Von Puterschmidt, but how did you do that with no arms? Or, oh, yes, Von Puterschmidt, but I thought you were afraid of the Indian natives. Oh, yes, Von Puterschmidt, how did you do that with, I don't know, while in a coma? And you're like, you can say, you know, you can say, oh, yeah, but you are mistaken, and, you know, put your other coin in there or whatever. You can, like, you know, like, shut it down at a price, you know. Or you can take the coin and just weave it into your story, you know. You gotta just add it in there with it, and it can just I mean, the whole point is to be the most ridiculous. And by the end, whoever is the most ridiculous, you give all your coins to, and that person wins. Who wins is not so much important. It's the ridiculous stories that people come up with. And it is like, it's hard to start with new people. We started new people, and they all like vetoed it. Like, I'm not playing, I'm leaving, you know. But once you get into it, and once you get like a couple rounds, people are like, oh no, I'm gonna sit out. You just play a couple rounds of people, and then eventually they'll be like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, okay, I'll try. My wife eventually discovered Sweden, floating on a pile of dried bird shit on the land. I don't know how she sailed to Sweden on land with a pile of bird shit, but that's what she did. I don't know. It's ridiculous. You'd have to be there. It doesn't make any sense. The whole point is to open everybody up, you know, get more friendly. And you don't need nothing. I mean, once you understand the concept, you don't need anything except your imagination. And that's important to some people. And it's fun. So, anyways, if you got friends that you're really close to and you're okay with opening up in front of them, I would say try this game because it's hilarious. Hilarious. Works fantastic with alcohol. Fantastic. I mean, it's the best alcohol game ever. But anyways, you know, later.